Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing this lens, which is actually one of my favorite lenses that I've ever used for the a7 III. It's the Sigma 24mm f1.4 native E-mount version. It's an absolutely gargantuan lens and there's some pros and cons to it, but I really like the way that it performs in the a7 III. So let's go through some of that stuff. So first, obviously the elephant in the room is the form factor. This is an absolutely giant. This lens is actually bigger than my head. See? Way too big. It's heavy. It weighs way more than the camera, so it puts the center of gravity way front heavy, but you know, it's big, it's imposing, and it makes you look like a professional photographer. So when you show up to a shoot with a camera looking like this, it gives you a little bit of clout. When you show up on the beach in Tulum with a camera like this, you get run off and asked to not take pictures. So it's, you know, you gotta figure out what is the right situation for this camera. It's definitely a professional lens, but it's not too big to fly on the gimbal. I've actually flown it on the Ronin gimbal. Makes your arm a little bit tired, but it performs really well. So the focusing is awesome. The autofocus is great. I haven't had any issues with the hunting around or not grabbing focus except in really low light, which you have to get pretty low since this is a 1.4 for it not to work. I absolutely love this switch on the side. Having this toggle to switch from autofocus to manual focus is one of my favorite things about this lens. The second favorite thing about this lens is that it's a focus system that is not focused by wire. So most focus rings will spin to infinity, and this one will too, but it has these ends. See if you can hear it. And it has this scale that's reminiscent of an analog style lens. So really love the focusing on this. The color looks great. It's very signature Sigma color. I kind of get some greens and yellows in the flaring, which I'm not super much a fan of, but it does provide some really beautiful color renditions, especially at night. I have a custom profile that I set up for night, and it makes the colors look absolutely gorgeous. So here is what the footage looks like at night. So the price, and this is a big one. I think this lens is about $850 when I bought it. Hold on. New G Master is going for $1,400. That's a ton of difference. That's almost 2x. I think that unless you're really concerned about the weight or size factor, I would go with this Sigma. Sigma's always been a really good native E-mount compatibility. Some other lenses you'll have to adapt to Canon. That's just something to think about. So y'all know me, the only thing left to do is look at some photos and videos from this to see what you think for yourself. So 3, 2, 1.